Oregon's governor and attorney general have announced that President Trump is deploying Oregon National Guard troops into Portland.
Now they filed a lawsuit to try to stop it. The Trump administration says Title 10 of the United States Code provides the legal framework for the president to deploy National Guard troops and reserve members. It's also the same code the president invoked in California in June and in Washington, D.C. last month. Oregon's attorney general says his office has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration in an attempt to block the deployment.
This all started with a post on Truth Social on Saturday, with President Trump directing the Secretary of War to send troops to, quote, protect war-ravaged Portland and any of our ICE facilities under siege from attack by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. The president authorized full force if necessary, but did not elaborate on what that meant. Hundreds gathered at Portland's ICE facility to protest the Trump administration's immigration policies.
Fox 12's Mackenzie Richmond joins us live this morning. Mackenzie, we know there was some trouble overnight. It's much calmer usually in the morning. What can you tell us?
It is a much calmer, quieter morning here outside of Portland's ICE facility, just off of McAdam Avenue than it was here last night when we saw hundreds of protesters. So again, a very different scene from yesterday. Now, this morning, we've learned more about the two arrests Portland police made. A 17-year-old from Milwaukee was taken into custody around 9:30 last night for assault. And then just about a half an hour later, officers made a targeted arrest. 38-year-old Nathan McFarland of Portland was booked for assault as well. Now, these arrests followed a brief confrontation between anti-ICE demonstrators and a smaller group of counter-protesters. Portland police say no force was used by their officers during either of these arrests. Police are also investigating a property crime reported during last night's demonstration. Now, at its peak, a crowd of about 200 to 300 protesters packed the area, all calling for an end to federal immigration enforcement in the city of Portland. Officers also say at one point, protesters surrounded a car trying to exit the facility. Tensions flared as federal officers pushed protesters back, and the officers even had to deploy pepper spray at one point to keep the gates clear. Now, as a reminder, with all of this, Portland police say they do not engage in immigration enforcement, but are responsible for maintaining public safety and enforcing state laws. So again, dramatic moments overnight, but back out here live this morning, things are quiet. There are several signs left over from last night, but no protesters at this moment. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated with the latest as this morning continues. But for now, reporting live, I'm Mackenzie Richmond for Good Day Oregon.
Mackenzie, thank you. Just hours after the news broke, Oregon took legal action with a lawsuit against the Trump administration.
The state is now challenging the president's plans to deploy National Guard troops to Portland. Fox 12's Bonnie Silkman joins us now in studio with what this could mean moving forward. Good morning.
Good morning. That's right. Oregon's attorney general says that they were ready for this news. In just 6 hours after learning of the president's plans to deploy National Guard troops to Portland, he filed a lawsuit saying that this deployment is unlawful and violates constitutional limits on military action. Attorney General Dan Rayfield, Governor Tina Kotek, and Portland Mayor Keith Wilson all spoke during a virtual news conference yesterday. Rayfield there saying that the president's federalization of 200 Oregon National Guard troops is an infringement of state sovereignty and a violation of federal law. He's also accusing the president of playing politics and being misinformed about the city. We also heard from Governor Kotek, who said she spoke with the president over the phone over the weekend. Take a listen to what she had to say.
This is not necessary, and I believe it's unlawful, and it will make Oregonians less safe. I told him in very plain language that there is no insurrection or threat to public safety that necessitates military intervention in Portland or any other city in our state. Despite this, and with all evidence to the contrary, he has chosen to disregard Oregonians' safety and ability to govern themselves.
The governor added that she has not received any kind of timeline on when the National Guard troops could be deployed here or how many we could see. She says no information has been given yet to local law enforcement either as to how they should interact with National Guard troops. Now, this morning, we've also learned that the Washington Attorney General will be holding a press conference this morning in response to this news. We're told officials will be outlining Washington's plans to protect residents from federal overreach. So we'll be listening into that at 10:30 this morning and keep you updated. Kim and Shauna, back to you.
All right, Bonnie, thank you very much. A letter signed by local leaders to unite against President Trump's plan to deploy the National Guard in Portland now has over 100 signatures. The Portland Metro Chamber released the letter called "Portland Doesn't Need the Federal Troops." It is co-signed by Governor Kotek, Mayor Keith Wilson, senators, and House representatives, among many others. They say there's no reason for the Trump administration to deploy the troops, and they say the plan is counterproductive to Portland's recovery and success in improving public safety. The letter points to recent crime data showing a 51% decrease in murders in the first half of this year, as well as a nearly 60% decline in gun violence since 2022. Leaders claim federal deployment would threaten their progress and would have a similar effect to cities like Washington, D.C., which saw restaurant sales drop by 30% during the National Guard deployment there. If you'd like to read the full letter, we have a link on the Fox 12 app.
Some Oregon leaders disagree and say something needed to be done. Republican Representative Christine Drazen took to X to say, quote, "The ICE facility in Portland has been subject to months of dangerously chaotic protests that have put residents and federal agents in harm's way. The governor's assertion that there is no national security threat and the mayor's assertion that everything is fine is tone deaf." She went on to say, quote, "It's shameful that state and local leaders have allowed violent mobs and domestic terrorists to assault federal law enforcement, destroy property, and interfere with those seeking immigration services from obtaining assistance in case management. We need order, we need to restore safety, and Oregon's local leaders have failed to provide it." This is a developing story, and you can count on Fox 12 to bring you updates as they happen. You can catch the latest information on air, online, and on our Fox 12 streaming news app.